software testing automation. So let's talk about software automation framework and the role of AI in automation. So let's first talk. So automation framework design, AI role in automation testing, and quick peek of test trigger AI tool. Everybody's talking about AI a lot, right? So we should also learn something today. Before we start diving deep, let's think about a few scenarios. So why do we need to design automation framework at first place? Well, there are multiple reasons. One, it can increase the efficiency, and efficiency in a means whatever the repetitive job testing we do, if we automate them, then we don't have to um, again and again do it manually, right? That will save our time and team's time to focus on more critical and more complex tasks to work on. And consistency is another reason. And consistency, like you can run the test with n numbers of data again and again in multiple scenario, multiple environment. So it can be executed in any environment, right? Or like certain predefined criterias as well, procedures or criteria, whatever we design, we can run it with the multiple environments. So in every environment, it's not going to be different, right? And reusability, that's the very important one as well. So once we write one method, for example, login, we can call that method at multiple places wherever we are performing other automation. Like for example, if I talk about e-commerce, in e-commerce, first customer has to log in and then add search for the items. So log in to search for item one scenario, and then adding into the cart is another scenario, but has to log in every time. So that login method can be called at multiple places. In for the UI testing as well, like for the every element, we can create just one method to perform action on text field, or like some sort of form as well. If that form is existing at multiple places, then we can call that in another method to perform the functionality. That's its reusability. And also those tests can be called um, integrated in another module as well to complete some prerequisite scenario as well, or like after the test execution, if you want to run some ETL job, right? So those kind of things like this, that's called reusability. We can call it multiple places to complete system test or like end-to-end scenarios. And then scalability. So when we design this is very important, when we design the framework, it's very important to remember whether that framework can be scaled or not. What kind of test can it perform? Can it perform UI test? Can it perform API test, ETL, and against a multiple set of data? And can it handle large set of test cases? So there the scalability comes in the scenario. Reporting and analysis is the most interesting one. Like in company, many people just wait for that. So by default, there are multiple tools. If we integrate, we can get a very robust and very like granular result reports. But we can also design our own in-house reporting system to show how many errors are there, how many test cases pass or fail. And then we can analyze the historical data. That becomes very helpful in terms of how the feature is behaving and how stable the feature has been so far. If the issue is reoccurring, that the historical data helps a lot. To redesign that feature means we can advocate for, okay, this specific issue is happening, keeps on happening, and the tests are failing due to that reason, then we need to redesign. So that's a very good data point to talk about the quality to improve it, right, of the product. And last but not the least, integration and streamlining the release process. You must have heard about integrating the test cases with the CI/CD pipeline. So whatever the test we write, whether we write API test or a system test or just a UI test, and we can integrate them in every environment with the CI/CD pipeline. So what happens in this scenario when the deployment is done, the code has been deployed, the changes has been deployed, immediately the test can kick off and test that changes as well, and we get the feedback early. So that is the beauty of integrating the test in CI/CD pipeline. So now, yeah, that's the that's the use case of the automation framework. Next topic comes, how do we decide the design of a framework? Well, the design of the framework is very important, and it is kind of a step-by-step process. So we have to first understand the requirement and constraint. So like many people gets involved when we talk about designing a framework, then many people get involved, like your team members and also the business stakeholder, the dev leads. Those people get involved in the meeting and they also provide their inputs, and they also go through the like what's your thought when you are designing it, right? So we talk about what tech stack we want to use. Those kind of discussions happen in that. And then once we figure out, okay, what do we want to do with this framework, right? Why do we want to, means once we know the answer, why do we want to design this automation framework? Then how do we design, the next question comes. So then we have to choose right technology, and always like people can go fancy, but the problem is with that maintenance become very expensive. So if you see most of the teams are using whatever the technology set, let's say Java. So in that case, it is always favorable to design a framework in Java because developers also contribute in automation framework as in many companies. So it becomes easy. They can look into the code and they can understand why that issue is coming. So it reduces the dependency as well. And then we can select the design, like what kind of design we want to use when we're designing the framework, like page object model, or another is key driven or data driven. Mostly people design hybrid frameworks. So they use page object model and data driven as well, and few more they are. And last so many years, people have been using, even I have designed many framework, I have used BDD, behavior driven development, right? So it's in plain English, it's very easy to uh, get involved the business stakeholder to get them get the confirmation whether the scenario you thought about it is correct or not. So that becomes very helpful. And how do we want to structure the test cases and modules? That's a part of a design, and that's a part also part of a design. And then how do we want to implement reusable component? How do we want to centralize the data so that we don't have to again and again write data everywhere for every test case? We want to reuse the data, and we how are we going to handle the dynamic data? We don't want to go with the static data. Nowadays nobody provides a static data at all. So, and how can we scale it? That's a very important part. And how are we going to handle errors and logging and notifications? Those things are also part of framework design. But this is all really very fun to design a framework. This is a step-by-step long process, but at the same time, it's so much fun to do and learn at every step. Now, third topic comes, is AI enemy or best friend for testing world? In my opinion, I have used AI-based tools, so I know for sure it increased the efficiency and testing process, right? So let's talk about what is the role of AI in testing. AI, AI-driven software tools have increased the quality. AI tools can analyze historical testing data, user behavior, and system interaction to provide insights that inform more effective explanatory testing strategies. AI increases level of test coverage and test speed, right? AI AI refuses the requirement maintenance for visual updates and redesigns. So here is the actually beautiful thing, because the pages are very dynamic. DOM keeps on changing. I'm giving you just the biggest win, which is with the UI testing happen. So it's rather than fetching the data from DOM, it takes the snapshot. So it doesn't have to worry about the DOM, like what element is changed, whether it appeared or not appeared, right? Sometimes it takes the DOM takes time to load, right? So it just takes a snapshot, and based on with that image is do the testing. So functionally wise, like as it is, as I mentioned there, like functionally wise, very challenging for both mobile and web UI application. The DOM keeps changing, which results test failure and need human interaction to update as per new change. AI has capability to perceive and test anything with a screen using image-based analysis rather than relying on implementation of DOM. So that is most amazing thing. And due to that reason, the test failure were happening massively, and because the changes has to happen, right? And we means most of the companies have been using Selenium, and it's open source. So there is no customer support that they will provide any very robust API to cover many scenarios. So people usually, like I also ended up designing the APIs, which can work for my scenarios, work for my situations, right? To test any UI pieces. Talk about ML-driven advancement in testing. So what the advancement is with ML in testing part. So ML-driven tools, they can create intelligent test script, and they can predict analysis for prioritization and self-healing test script, realistic test data generation. So that is the advancements we have. Then let me give you a quick peek of test rigor tool. But before that, let me tell you what this tool is. This tool is based on Gen AI, and it can perform almost all kind of testing. So you name it, is acceptance testing, smoke testing, regression testing, system testing, and API testing, visual testing, SMS and phone call. The main USP of this test rigor is two-factor authentication testing and CAPTCHA testing. So this is there is a free free subscription available for this too as well. Paid is also, but additional features are there. And just for learning purpose, we can just subscribe and we can use this tool. So free version has pretty much good one, sufficient. So you can create a new test suite here. So you can give the test suite a name over here. And what do you want to test? You want to do mobile web testing or native and hybrid mobile and desktop testing. For now, you can choose just they already have created, so I will not create a new one. So what do you want to test? In IK, I wanted to test all the links links and redirect to those links as well. So that's what I did in IKDemo. Username password is not required here. What the operating system? So as I said, the free version has only Ubuntu and the enterprise has both, right? These are the paid one. So there are two browsers available, Chrome and Firefox. And how many tests do you want to generate? You can generate one and then you can write the description as well. Let me take you over here, go to IKDemo. We go to IKDemo. So let's create a test tool. It's too much extended. So, okay, so let's do this. So let's add a custom test. Let me delete this one. Okay, let's start fresh. So before we start doing this, let me walk you through what does it have. So we can, let's talk about data. So if you talk about, okay, we want to provide different set of data. So there you go. So here is the option for that. We can provide a global variable. And for data-driven testing, we can use this data sets where we can use name and then give description. And then we have to create a multiple rows with multiple set of data. So for this, yeah. Oh, okay. So global, we can say, okay, I want to provide the username, but we are not going to log in, so we don't need to use this for. So I'm not going to create it. So, but we can put over here, add it, and this is for searching. So you need to add over here, and this is going to be text, or you can, oh yeah, by the way, if you want to provide the password, we can use the hidden. So it will be, this is the variable, the password, and then you can put the value and it will be hidden. So it solves the encryption and decryption scenario, right? Problem. Okay, so another thing, okay, we can see the tree view here. Once we create, reports are here, errors are there. We can see, or also we can write behavior driven, that's BDD I was talking about, driven test over here. So this is the test last I have executed this one, so it is showing all the result. And let's go to test case now. Let's create one test case. Okay. So okay, let me go to IK interview kickstart. Okay. So now on this page, I want to get all the links from, let's see what happens. Interview kickstart. So what do we want to use? Let's go with this generate actual test using AI. Let's see what does it do. Let me see if it is able to find the link, Google it, and then go to home page and find the link. Otherwise, we can just update the test case and add it and see if that works. So sometimes it happens, it's if you keep moving this page up and down, it fails. But if you rerun, then yeah, rerun the test fail, it will pass. Yes, they are still like not very mature. None of the AI based test tools are very matured yet. So they are still in a very initial stage. So it's being executed, and yeah. So meanwhile, it is running. I can talk about, like, we can also write the ETL test in this. We can write system test, and we can also run one test suite dependent on another test suite. So we can create a dependency tree as well. So it's a very awesome tool. Basically, I have tried. I have used it for some of the UI testing till yet I have used, and it can also help with the EDR. So if you see over here, it is showing the data. It did go actually. Wow, that's good. So it did go to home page of Interview Kickstart, and it redirected to the links to register now, and then the register page opened. So that is good part. So it is still, let's wait for it to complete, and then we can see. Okay, fine. More detail. This is another link, I think. Okay. Why is it creating duplicate data? As I said. So it passed, right? So for till now, we have seen actually two issues. I can see actually it looked at the private policy. Okay, see, multiple screens is it created actually. So it took image multiple times. Yeah, so we can see here when, oh, sorry. Okay, so if I make it fail, then the errors are going to be there. If I go to report, I can see, okay, 100% pass, the total pass this, and Chrome on Ubuntu, like on which environment, on which operating system, and against which browser the test has been executed. So it shows historical data as well. So this is historical data when this case failed as well, right? Yeah,